Au revoir.
Okay, welcome back to another episode of FitPet Boston Talks. My name is Leah Lodato, and I am the host of this little show. And today I am joined by my spouse, Lori.
Hello.
And we are going to talk a little bit about...
And
Buddha, who is very peacefully chewing a bone at our feet. And we are going to talk a little bit about a recent story that was shared on Kiss108, which is the local pop station here in Boston. It was a very interesting encounter that one of the hosts had at a dog park, I believe. So we're going to talk about that on the show, get our reactions. I think it's kind of fun to just talk about current events. What do you think?
Yeah, you were on it when I came back from our therapy dog visit. You mentioned it. That's what we're going to talk about. I had, of course, missed it. I was outside with a
on the show, but the unfortunate thing
I missed the part
for Billy and Lisa in the morning is that there's a podcast that airs after the show. So now you can listen to the whole show if you want to after the fact, which was never when Maddie in the Morning was on when we were kids. Like, if you missed it, you missed it.
Right. Now I like to go back because you don't have to listen to the commercials. Sometimes I like what they talk about. Yeah, it's a junk podcast that I like. Not junk. It's just, it's very normal for me. I like routine. I'm a person of routine. So even if I didn't want to listen to it, I have to listen to it because that's what I've always done. You
have listened to Kiss108 in the morning as long as I've known you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You don't have to be sorry.
I love it, though.
It's
very
good.
invested.
I used to listen to Maddie in the morning on the bus.
Yeah.
My bus driver, Jen, would always have Maddie in the morning.
Yeah, everyone listened to Maddie in the morning. And now it's Billy and Lisa, and I love them.
Yes.
Let's keep them forever.
They're like Lori's virtual friends.
Virtual.
Especially Justin.
They don't know it.
You love Justin.
I like Winnie, Justin, Lisa, and Billy, all of them equally.
Yeah, they have a good dynamic together.
Yeah. So
I used to listen to Kiss108 when I was younger and wanted to hear the songs. And now that I'm older, I want to hear the commentary and not the songs. It like flip-flopped. For me.
Yeah, I don't love the songs.
Oh, they're horrible.
Frankly, that I don't like the songs at all.
I'm just not a fan of popular music, and I feel old. But anyway, I wanted to mention another unrelated to dog story. So today I read an article that in a market basket in Manchester, New Hampshire, a guy tried to steal a purse out of a woman's carriage, and the market basket employees pinned him to the ground until the authorities came.
All right.
Cart his butt away. And I read that and I was just...
Way to go.
Very happy.
Yeah.
I loved hearing
that bastard.
I know.
That rat bastard. Make your own money.
Anytime people stand up to something that vile, I just get so excited because it proves to me that there still are good people that are willing to step in and lend a hand when one is needed. And I feel like in so many situations, especially in public, everybody kind of stands around with their hands in the air because nobody feels like they want to stick their neck out. So I was pretty encouraged by that story. I was like, yeah, way to go, market basket employees.
Get the bullies, I say.
I know, seriously. Especially since like our Woburn market basket has been like held up a few times.
A few.
Yeah.
Too
like
many.
The courtesy desk.
Really
Crazy.
More than once is too much.
Yeah, we don't even go there. It's scary. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to play this little clip out of the, out of the podcast from this morning. We sped it up a little bit, so it might sound a little unnatural, but here we go. This is from the Billy and Lisa show on Kiss108. You can listen to it in the mornings here in Boston, 107.9. And I'm just going to go for it.
Have a weird personal story that I'd like to address.
Is this like a bonus weird story?
Bonus weird story. This has been going on for several weeks in my neighborhood. We take Titus, the wonder dog, we take him out for walks several times a day. We take him to a local park. It's a giant park. We run around and we play. Well, there's a neighbor in town. I don't know their name, but, like a lot of other people, they go and they have their dog, right? And the dogs kind of run around. Okay. Every time I take Titus to the park, that dog pees on my leg, okay? Every time Michelle takes Titus to the park, it pees on her leg, okay? This happens every single time. It happened a half hour ago. She gave me a call. He said, oh my God, the dog peed on me again. Now, you know what else the dog did this morning? Peed on Titus's head.
Is the
dog only doing it to you?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're the target.
Well, our little clan.
There must be
your
a
whole
smell
family.
going on.
Yeah, there's got to be a family stench or something.
Well, what?
Right?
Yeah,
There's
why
gotta be
else?
something
Saying
going
we
on.
have a stench?
Yes.
Well, I'm just saying, the dogs, what do? They attract by
sniff.
smell, by sniff.
They pee, like they mark their territory. So Titus must have some dog smell that dog either doesn't like or really likes,
Yeah.
and then it rubs off on you and Michelle, and it's peeing in Marcus' territory.
Yeah, we're not doing
You're
to make
turning
fun
this
of you.
on me? Like we're smelly people?
No, you guys. No, but you.
Just an explanation.
Yeah,
That's all.
like you sleep with your dog, so it probably rubs off in bed.
Oh.
And you guys both have the dog smell in your.
No, I wish I was
now.
exaggerating. I'm not. I'm standing right there. And then
it's-
suddenly I look down and he's peeing on my leg. Like,
It's very
Like there's
strange.
nothing wrong with it. And then does it to Michelle. It's
What
done
does
it
the-
to her a lot
what does
more.
the owner
So
do?
she must be smellier than me.
What does the owner say?
I'm glad you asked because she said it again this morning. She said, you're the only people he does this to.
Does she at least say sorry?
Luckily, there was another guy standing there with his dog. He said, no, lady, the dog pees on me too.
Now, the entertainment update.
No, lady, the dog pees on me too.
Oh, unbelievable,
It's a
right?
golden shower. That is a dog channel we don't go to.
We don't want to subscribe to. Okay, so you all just heard the story. Billy Costa's out with his huge pit bull Titus, and he keeps getting peed on by some stranger's dog. I'm guessing that the dog is off the leash. What would your guess be?
I think he's off the leash.
I think he's off the
neutered
leash, too.
male pit.
No, that's Titus.
Titus is the male neutered pit,
Right.
and he's playing off leash with a bunch of dogs.
And one of these dogs comes up to the humans and pees on
same
them. Okay,
dog.
Laurie, here we
Same
go.
dog.
What do we do?
What would you do if a dog pissed all over you? I would be pissed.
I'd be irate.
I would be so
I would be
mad.
so upset. Like, I'm not even joking.
And if you're the owner,
Embarrassed. Just so embarrassed. Like, offering to pay for dry cleaning, embarrassed. Like, giving them money, embarrassed. Like, I'm sorry, you will never see my dog off the leash again, embarrassed.
absolutely.
And it's been happening multiple times.
Yeah, you know this dog's saddled up a million times to dogs and done it. First of all, any dog, their dogs pee all over each other all the time. If you have multiple dogs in one area, one's peeing, they're in a rush to go mark the same spot the dog peed in, and then your dog's head is under there. Some dogs go to sniff the privates when a dog is ready to go lift their leg and pee. That happens.
Yeah, it's normal.
But when a dog walks up to another person and just lifts that leg right up, and you can see when a dog is saddling up too. You know when a dog is going to pee on you. Usually dog trainers start moving right away. You can tell they have this particular move, and you know it. That dog's going to pee on you, and you get out of the way. But the fact that it's happened multiple times, this owner should be, as soon as the dog even thinks of heading in the direction of Billy and his wife, Michelle, the dog should be called to the owner, leashed up, and kept away from them.
Yep.
I mean, it's a behavioral issue.
Yeah, totally. And I think the moral decline of the situation, and I was saying it downstairs to you, Laurie, is that I think the owner of the peeing dog has accepted that behavior from her dog, and also probably would accept that behavior if another dog did it to her. That's the only way I can rationalize it in my mind, why a dog owner would think that their dog's behavior would be okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that she would be.
Like,
I think
the person would be like, it's fine if your dog came over and pissed on me. Like, I'd be cool with it.
Who would say that, Leah?
But that's what she's telling me. She's telling me that she would be okay if I did that to her. Because my dog is an extension of me. I'm responsible for my dog. It's in her mind somewhere. She rationalized that, and she thought, this is just what dogs do, and it's okay. And nobody held her accountable. Like Billy even said, well, I corrected the owner. Unless you let her know that behavior from her dog is totally unacceptable, there's no correction. The way that he corrected her was by saying, hey, he's done this to me before.
Yeah.
So he tried to induce some sort of guilt by saying, hey, this situation has happened before. Are you going to do anything about it? And the woman just says, yeah, you're the only person he does it to. And then somebody else concurred.
Thankfully.
Hey, no, man, he does it to me too.
Right. And that means that the dog's not being choosy and it's just one person the dog is peeing on. So it shows that it is a behavioral issue. I bet that dog marks everything. But I still think that the owner of the peeing dog would be so irritated if another dog did it to her. I really do. I do.
I don't, because if she's allowing that to happen, somewhere in her mind, she thinks it's okay.
Well, we would have to only ask that lady, I guess, and we will never know.
Well, okay, so now comes maybe the more important point. What do you do as a person who just got peed on? So dog just runs up to you and lifts their legs and pisses on you. What do you do?
I would tell the owner. I'd be like, this is an unacceptable behavior. You don't have control over your dog. You know that he does this to people. Keep him away. I would scream at the dog. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw a leg lift, I fucking not pissing on me. I hate it. Oh, I hate it. I mean, you should see me when I go to somebody's house and, you know, I'm there for certain behaviors. I know the dog that's going to piss on my bag. So I said, excuse me, do you mind if I put my bag up on your chair, up on your table? I always ask people. It's nice to be polite. I'm not taking my friggin' shoes off to get in your house, though. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I know the dogs that are going to piss on it. I know it. And if I miss it, I get even more irritated.
Yeah, but there's a way to let, in the moment.
I scream no.
You just yell no. I mean, if somebody tried, like if a person tried to do something like that to you, like the very least you would do was yell, especially if you're in a public place.
That's the least I would do to a human.
Yeah, but like
the least.
That's the very least that you can do. And I think sometimes when stuff like that happens, we get so shocked, like we don't know what the right way is to respond. But if you thought about it, like, okay, let's say you had your wedding dress draped over a chair in your house. You're getting ready to get married, and you saw your dog walk over to the dress and go to lift its leg on your dress. What would you do?
Oh, I mean, that's the level I would yell.
You scream. Yeah. You at least scream no.
Yeah.
Right? It's like you just, even if the dog isn't going to respond, anybody's guttural instinct, if you're a bride and you're going to get married, is to say no, right?
Oh, yeah.
Without any physical interaction at all. Like you're across the room, you see it happening. So
the first thing I'm doing, my reaction to anything is I use my voice. And if I think that there's trouble, you'll hear me, even poor Leah, what? And I go, didn't you just see that? So if I can break something up verbally, I choose to do that. I mean, I've done other things to break up things, but yelling for sure. I don't even know how Billy held it in. Plus, he's such like OCD clean guy. That's why I really relate to Billy, my dear friend Billy. He doesn't know me because he's super clean, always has a great outfit on. Like his wife, Michelle, totally beautiful. You know, I might stalk him on Instagram and I would be appalled if those two people my dog peed on. Yeah, you're out of here. Scream. I remember Buddha marked in the house once and I was like, I just need to catch him. I just need to catch him once. And he was like a stealth peer, you know, like he would just swing the leg round, kind of just do a little.
He still does that.
Well, outside.
Yeah.
But I just had to catch him once and I just screamed, no. And I threw him in the crate. Thankfully, that's all it took. Just one time.
Yep.
But I never trust a male dog anyway. They're always gonna, if it's a brand new environment. I mean, I go to a lot of places with Buddha, so I feel pretty safe. But if we're in a super doggy environment, I'm watching him like a hawk.
Mm.
Because
other dogs have marked, and there's like smells going on. And I wanted you to talk a little bit too, Lori, about as we were listening to the podcast. You know, Winnie and Justin were kind of saying, "Oh, it's the way that you smell." Yeah. Do you think that has anything to do with the situation?
No.
Me neither.
Not at all.
Yeah.
No, I think this is all behavioral and the dog's just pissing everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. The dog thinks it's okay and it's gotten away with it and it thinks that it's normal behavior. Nobody told him otherwise.
Yeah, it's a bit of a dominance thing, if you ask me too. I just hate it.
Yeah, it's gross.
it's and worse is if the beach scene. I've seen so many dogs running on the beach and dogs going up to people on towels and their stuff. Like you could be going to a unpopular time and the dog runs up and lifts a leg on somebody's towel or their cooler or whatever. I mean, horrified. I remember hearing one lady say, don't worry, the tank is empty. It wasn't my stuff. She was yelling it to the people that her dog had targeted.
Oh.
And I said, what did they say? And they laughed. I got to tell you.
Yeah, because
if I saw a dog running at me, I would throw my cooler.
I know.
I would toss my cooler to stop the dog in its tracks.
I'm telling you, we're just so unused to acting in the moment. And I myself I'm included in that because not when it comes to dogs together, I've gotten a lot better at being quick and acting in the moment. But when it comes to people, like I had a situation yesterday where
I love this.
Somebody confronted me in public. And I was walking out of the woods, and this person lives at the woods. And if you're a dog walker, you know you have to respect people that live right next to the woods, especially if you park your car there. And I'm always very respectful of this person. I've had bad interactions with his dogs in the past. His dogs are required by law, as far as I've heard from neighbors, to wear muzzles when they are outside. They don't. I move out of the way when he gets there. I've tried everything to be as courteous as possible. I've been seeing this dude since his previous dogs, like 7 years. I've been seeing the same guy. He knows me.
She's had a long relationship with him.
And yesterday when I was coming out of the woods with my dogs, I pulled over and he goes, I mean, do you have to come here to walk your dogs? This is always going to be a problem. He's like, I see you here multiple times a day. And I said, okay, well, it's at least, I said, at most once a day. That's the only thing I said to him. I'm like, dude, at most I'm here once a day. And that was like the best I could do in the moment. So I go back to the car and I'm thinking to myself, like, no, I got to talk to this dude.
Hey,
like,
wait a minute.
Like, that was the best that I could do at that point. I mean, at that point, I should have said, who are you to tell me what I can do on public property? I mean, it's not where I'm entering is not his yard. I'm being courteous. I don't let my dogs on his property. I make sure that I steer clear of his cars. Like, there's no interaction, right?
Right.
And I've even looked on a map because some of these properties, they extend into the woods. What you think is the woods, the park, is not. It is actually people's property. And I've run into that in another place that I go to in Winchester. Anyway. So I go back up to him and I just ask him, I'm like, why did you say that to me? And he was like, well, you know, I see these dog walkers with all these dogs not picking up after them. And I'm like, that doesn't have anything to do with what you said to me. You asked me not to come here anymore. Who are you to even ask me that question? And he was like, well, you know, and I said, you have aggressive dogs. They're not friendly. And I do everything I possibly can to steer clear of them. And I don't let my dogs on your property. I respect you and your space. So I want to know why you said that to me. Why would you ask me to do something like that? And he was like, I don't know. I'm sorry that I even said it.
Good loser.
And I said, well, I appreciate that, but you know, if there's anything I can do to make this easier for you because you live here, like, please let me know. I mean, I'm happy to do it, but to ask me not to walk on public property is unreasonable. And I said, I walk your neighbor's dog. I walk 2 other dogs in this neighborhood. I said, 2 of these dogs that I'm walking live less than a mile away from right here. So these are your neighbors. It's not like I'm driving dogs in from, you know, East Jabib to come to these woods. Like, this is a community thing. And, you know, like, it ended up being a really positive encounter. But again, like, my initial reaction was very poor. I defended myself instead of, you know, standing up for myself. And it wasn't until I could take a minute and, you know, kind of gather myself that I could actually have an interaction that was like fruitful, because I had a chance to think about what exactly it was that I wanted to say. So I get it when we're out in public and we have these things that happen with people, you know, we freeze instead of act, and it's hard.
Most of the time we're freezing because we're not allowed to say anything to anybody. We're not allowed to do anything to a dog that somebody would think was hurtful to the dog. Just like we can't talk to people. We can't behave a certain manner in public anymore. I mean, common courtesy is lost. Like, why did that guy even have to? He obviously has some shit going on that he felt like he was having a bad day and he took it out on you, the dog walker with all the dogs. You don't make a fuss about it. You mind your business. You go there, you clean up, and you leave. And he just had nothing to do. But every time you confront a person, two things are going to happen. You're either going to get into a fight, somebody's going to call the cops. People are so crazy now that you don't know if they're going to, it's like you have the totally polite person or you have the person that's going to shoot you. You never know what personality you're going to meet in that moment. And for a dog, even if I scream no at that dog, because I'm telling you right now, if a dog came up to me and the owner was there and that dog lifted its leg and I was dumb enough not to move, or sorry, I'm not making fun of Billy. I'm just saying, because I would never do that, because you don't expect dogs to just be peeing all over you.
No, you don't.
But you bet if that happened and I wasn't fast enough to, walk away. I mean, I would be on high alert with that dog even coming near me. And I definitely would shout no. And I definitely would have screamed in the moment. And you don't know how people are going to take this. All of a sudden, the camera comes out. People are recording you now because you yelled no to the dog. And then the only thing you hear is this woman saying, "You screamed at my dog. Why did you do that?" I mean, I could be like, your dog just peed all over me. And then you'll have the people, "Oh, well, that's a normal behavior for dogs. That's what they do. They mark." I should have just been like, that poor dog. That poor dog. I remember one time I was cutting a dog's nails on the grooming table. And I had, the tie for the neck and one loop around the back area so that they can't sit down or swing and get me. Mm-hmm. I did have a muzzle on the dog because it would want to bite me and I need to get the job done quickly. So I know that I'm safer. I'll just get it done quickly and it's over. My mom comes in. "Oh my God, that poor dog." I go, "The poor dog? He's trying to kill me, Ma. He's trying to kill me." And sometimes I'll have an owner. I watched this owner. This dog lit up on me so bad on the grooming table. And I had the owner, they were watching it. And they're like, "Oh, my poor baby." I was like, "Your poor baby?" This is like, and it wasn't even that the dog was scared. This dog wanted to.
Yeah, bite you.
Yeah, man. Huh. He was ready. Let's bite her. And I had the dog secure in a way that I knew I would be safe and I got the job done. But yeah, I mean, we just have this attitude where so many behaviors from so many living things are acceptable. Mm. I had a young girl come up to me during a therapy visit and we had a young puppy there and I said, make sure that you're nice to this young puppy. She's learning. She's going to be taking her therapy dog test. We want her to have a really great time here. I said that to the kids before they went in to go pet. So then I have this young lady come up to me, middle school age, and she looks at Buddha and she goes, "What would happen?" She says it just like this. "What would happen if I didn't touch him gently?" And my response would be just, my Lori response is not allowed. So I had to filter.
Censor yourself.
Yeah. So I had to filter, censor. And I said, "I will remove my dog and I will remove you." Mm-hmm. And she just looked at me. And I was so mad because I knew that it had nothing to do with this person's with her capabilities.
Cognitive ability?
Yeah, it had nothing to do with cognitive ability. It had to do with her wanting to know what would happen, like if there would be follow through. And, this is like the big thing with therapy visits and people who have therapy dogs. You just never know what position you'll be put in all the time during these visits. You really learn a lot along the way. Yeah. You can take the test all you want, but with Penny and Piper, one of them, Catherine's dogs, one of them got a toy truck across the head. I mean, and of course there was no reaction, thank God, from Penny, but you face a lot of things in therapy visits. It's really a lot. I'm just really surprised by how little we can talk to people. There's such little a lack of honesty in conversation.
Well, I think it's an interesting concept because I don't know if you follow her, Lori, but I follow Africa Brooke on social media. She's an author and she's a thinker. She's a smart lady. And one of the things that she is a big advocate of is women using their voice and not self-censoring because you're worried about what other people's reactions are going to be. And it's not in a way of like being a douchebag. Like that's not her message, but a lot of her content, and she used to do a lot of lives where she would actually bring on people, you know, that wanted to talk about the topic and talk about how to have kind of constructive conflict. And I think it's a good exercise because in a lot of these situations, it's in our own head as far as how a situation could escalate or what the ramifications of the situation could be. And we're always looking from a fear-based perspective of like, oh my God, like what if this person pulls out a gun and shoots me? And in reality, that isn't a really super valid fear, you know, and it is possible for us to advocate for ourselves in a safe way and still be respectful of the other person. It's just that we're not used to doing it because again, like I'm afraid in a lot of situations. You're afraid somebody's going to like whip out their phone and start recording you or something like that. It's like but at the end of the day, who cares?
I think for the most
who honestly cares if you yell at a dog when they lift their leg, if you yell no and somebody starts recording you?
I think that I'm very honest. Like if something
you are. You're really good.
I mean, it's a problem sometimes. There have been a few times with customers where I've addressed something later on that really upset me.
Well, and it's the whole premise of like...
I mean, I don't need a kumbaya moment. Let's just get it clear.
No.
But if somebody accuses me of something or says I didn't do right, I will always defend myself because I will always do right by your dog. So you just have to be honest with people and you really have to address it in the moment for sure.
Yes, I've been hit with this quote multiple times per week now. The first time was while I was reading a book called Hidden Potential by Adam Grant, which I highly recommend. But it's a quote by Ben Franklin that says an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of the cure. And I feel like that is what dog training and handling is all about. You are always trying to prevent something from happening that is unwanted. And in the process of trying to prevent that, it may look like you are doing things that aren't necessary. But in reality, if you're able to prevent bad things from happening, it helps you not have to fix those problems down the road. You know, it's like the situation with this girl that is basically saying, well, what if I don't touch Buddha, you know, nicely? There's no filter in her head that is trying to prevent a bad situation from happening. So now you have to do it and you have to look like the mean lady. But
yeah,
I mean, what would happen if she, you know, handled him roughly and he reacted, which he wouldn't do. But now you have to spend all this time trying to cure that problem.
Yeah, I didn't go. I mean, after that, I backed up right away.
Yeah.
And I didn't let her pet him.
Yeah.
The teacher supported me, so I really appreciated that.
Yep.
I also tell the teacher right away what happened, so.
It's hard.
You gotta be honest, man. Even when people talk about it, they don't say, you can ask them a question and say, how did you feel about this? And they'll lie. Just tell the truth. How the frig are we supposed to keep friends?
No, they'll go tell their therapist.
Or keep...
You'll hear about it 2 months later.
But honestly, at one point or another, you're forced to communicate. Because even if you want to keep a marriage, you have to communicate. Everything falls apart if you don't talk. How the hell are we supposed to read each other's minds? And you're lying if you say you can. You can't. I have like 8 voices in my head. How is Leah supposed to keep up with that shit? So, really, talk, man, and then tell the truth. If somebody pissed you off, tell them why. And I'm willing to hear somebody out. If they think I was wrong, I'd take it into account.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wrong all the time. You can't scare me. Go ahead. What are we going to call this? See, you guys didn't think we were going to be here on Friday. It's Friday evening.
I know, but here we are.
Here we are. Alrighty.
All right, so we equaled out for this week. Did have a busy week behind us, but I had to talk about that story because it was so absurd. I was listening yesterday, and I also recognize how clean Mr. Billy Costa is and how disgusting I'm sure he thinks that this whole situation was.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean, you're going home. It's on your socks. It's on your shoe.
So, Billy, what I'm saying is, if you feel like you can't talk about it on Kiss108 and you want to come over to talk about it on FitPet Boston Talks, you just do that. If you're listening, come on down.
Yeah.
You can have a drink with Laurie.
He doesn't want chicken palm.
He wants keto, whatever the hell he eats.
He just eats like carrots.
And we can talk about it. And you can say on FitPet Boston Talks how awful it is to get pissed on by a dog.
How awful it is. And Billy, you talk to that woman. And yay for the guy next. No, lady. Your dog pisses on everyone. It's not just Billy. It's not Billy's stench. It's your dog who's misbehaving because you told him it's okay to pee on everyone. I'm telling you, that house. Oh my God. It probably smells so bad. The walls used to be white. I told you I walked into houses, people would have pee pads on the walls. No. He started to lift his leg. And I'm like, so you taped him to the wall? You taped the pee pads to the wall? How is this a solution?
This is a whole other
Then the heat turns on. You ever have those floor vents? You ever have those
blow them around?
Oh, God. And the dog pees in the floor vent. And then every time the heat turns on, you can't get the smell out.
Like ammonia.
Oh,
it's
my
amazing.
God.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the things people put up with, not things that we would put up with, but we're here to talk about it because, man, it is podcasting fodder. So, anywho, I did not do my preamble at the beginning of the show. If you're new to the show, thank you so much for your listening ear. Historically, this podcast has interviewed local Boston area dong. Said it again. You get called out on that one. Dog handling professionals, and we have talked about our lives, dogs, and careers. As of late, Laurie and I do solo episodes such as this one. Hopefully we make you laugh, hopefully we make you think, and hopefully you can learn more about us as individuals, as people that care for other people's dogs, and we do a heck of a lot with our own dogs in our own free time. So we appreciate you all, and we will see you next time.
Have a great weekend.